I now have my fedora collection. I will start with this straw hat that I have. Unfortunately, it got crushed once, so it doesn't sit straight anymore. It has some creases. I'm not sure how to fix that, so I don't actually wear this one anymore. I wore it a lot during the summer, but it's a little bit tighter than I expect, and the sweatband is actually like faux leather or vinyl or something like that, so it's not actually that comfortable to wear when I'm hot. But I do like the style, and the ribbon is a very nice layered, I don't know what this is, but it's really nice. And then, okay, let's see. Then this is my real official fedora, only it's not actually a fedora, it's a tilby, because the brim is 2 inches or less. A fedora has a brim that's wider than 2 inches. This one has an interesting story behind it. I wanted a fedora for a long time. Months, I guess. And I looked up here where I live, and there were no hats or stores that I could find that sold any hats that actually fit me. Which is kind of a bummer, because I have a small head and it's very hard to find a hat that fits. Well, in September of last year, oh, it's 2012 now, in September of 2009, 2010, okay, a little over a year ago, the company that I work for sent me down to Virginia for some training, and I knew I'd be right outside the Washington, D.C., you know, just right outside Washington, D.C. So I looked online before I went for hat stores, and I found several, and I looked online at their websites, and I found one that looked very promising. So I mapped out my entire route before I even left. So when I got to Washington Dulles, I went and I got my bags, I got my car, I drove to the hotel, and I checked in. I ran up to see which room was mine. I didn't even stop to take my bags out because it was an afternoon flight and it was getting late. Didn't take my bags out of my car. And I drove an hour to the train station, which is actually half an hour drive normally, except that in rush hour, it's an hour. Drove to the train station, bought my ticket, hopped on the train, took the train into Washington, D.C., made my change at the right station, headed up to the right stop, got off, walked across the street and into the hat shop, and I had 45 minutes before they closed. And the ladies there were very helpful, and they helped me pick out a good hat for me, and this was the result. I am very pleased with it. It is one of my mainstays. I wear it all the time. Very, very pleased with it. In fact, it's doesn't say what the size in numbers is. It says it's a small. I actually have in the back of it a foam spacer to take up some of the space so it fits on my head nicely. This one's a Bailey of Hollywood. Pretty good brand. So that is my absolute favorite fedora. Love it. Wear it everywhere. Then I was at an antique store earlier this past summer, and I found a couple of hats that I liked, and they fit me. Now, something about antique stores rather than modern stores is the people back a couple hundred years ago, apparently they were smaller than we are now. Their heads were smaller, their whole bodies were smaller, so the chairs are shorter and things like that. Well, because it seems like their heads were often a bit smaller than ours, I usually find hats that fit me better at antique stores than I do at hat stores. So here are a couple I found. They're unusual for fedoras because they're actually patterned and they're made out of wool, woven wool. This is my gray one, and it's got a red tint in part of the check. I'll show you this. See if you can see the red tint up close. So it works well with a gray outfit, a black outfit, or a red shirt. It works very well with that. And then this one is actually a Stetson. It's not a cowboy hat. It's just a Stetson brand. And it says, woven in Scotland from pure new wool, which is pretty cool. This one is a lot harder to find an outfit that it goes with because it is such an unusual brown. I don't wear this one very often, but I like it when I do. It fits me very well. And I actually often get compliments. My hat is twisted. There we go. People seem to like this hat. But as you can see, it does not go with what I'm wearing right now. Absolutely not. And then I was at another antique store a couple months ago, and I found a whole bunch of hats, 6 of them. Now, these all need to be cleaned and reshaped, which you can reshape felt hats. I don't know how to do it myself. I read online one method, but I haven't tried it. I probably want to talk to a hat person before I damage the hats or something. But I have, let's start with this one. This one's a nice, rich, chocolatey brown. Very beautiful hat. The ribbon needs to be washed. Other than that, the hat itself is in fairly good condition. The reshaping that needs to be done is at a minimum, so I would wear this with a nice brown outfit. The band is a bit wide. I might replace it with a narrower band. We'd have to see about that one. As you can see, this is like a, oh, I don't know, is that 3 inches or 2 inches, 2.5? It's a bit wide for a band. No, most bands aren't that wide. The taller the crown, though, the wider your band can be. As you can see on this hat, the band is quite narrow. So compare these two. The bands are very different in size. And then this other brown hat has a bit wider brim. It might be 4 inches, probably 4 inches, and it curls up all the way around rather than coming down in the front like I expect. This one is a 6 3/4, and it fits me very nicely, but I have not found a time to wear this one. This one also has a wide band that is a bit dirty though because it's a lighter color, and that would definitely need to be scrubbed up. This one is a little bit tight, and it gives me a more Western feel. As far as fedoras go, I don't know. I don't recognize that shape, so I would have to ask a hat guy about what kind of style and the origins of this kind of hat. This one, as you can see, this one also has a very large crown, or crown. There's another black one I have in this set, and this one needs a lot more work in the reshaping department, and it's a bit dirty, not too bad. So I'll just show you this one. This one's a bit looser. In fact, I can turn it all the way around when it's on my head. That shouldn't really happen, but it works. It's not a problem. But as you can see, the crown is not shaped properly. This one has a nice shape. I like it. It sits nice and low on me. I like the shape of it. It's a good one. Then I've got this very nice piece. It's gray. I think it's a very good contrast. It's a light gray with a black band. I would wear this with a nice crisp black suit and maybe a black shirt or a white shirt with a black tie or a gray tie. And if I had the right gray shirt, I would also possibly pair this with that. So here is my gray hat. This one I'm very pleased with. I like this one a lot. I almost wore it to a holiday party that my company was sponsoring because we were having a fancy dress-up party. But the crown again needs to be reshaped, and I was not comfortable going out with a crown that was not shaped properly. Plus, it needs a bit of cleaning. I need to invest in some hat brushes so that I can clean my hats. Because really, I have not worn that one since I bought it. And then this one really needs to be cleaned. Every imperfection or every dirt spot shows up very clearly because it's actually white. This one again needs the crown reshaped, but this one the crown is a bit softer instead of stiff like some of the other ones, so I'm not sure how I would go about doing that. I'll probably definitely have to take this one to a hattier, haberdasher, and get his opinion on it. But it definitely needs to be cleaned up. I couldn't wear this one out in public as it is, but it's pretty neat. Someone said that it was a pimp hat. I don't know. I can see it being worn well with a black suit, jet black suit, crisp white shirt, and a white tie or a black tie. I would even consider exchanging the band on this one, the ribbon, for a black ribbon. Or if I had a colored tie or pocket square, I can see putting a different color ribbon around the hat that actually matches that. I think that would be really sharp. Then I just have one more hat. It's another straw hat. This one's nice. It's a fedora shape, fedora style, kind of a boating kind of hat. I would wear this one this summer because the shape is pretty good. I might need to be steamed a little bit and pressed out in a couple areas, but this one is very nice. The ribbon does need to be cleaned, but this one's a nice one. It's a very good summery boating on the canal type of hat is how I picture this one. So that is my hat collection. It's very extensive, as you can see, and I pretty much have a hat for every occasion, pretty much for every outfit, which is really nice. As I explained, a lot of my new hats I need to have worked on, cleaned up, reshaped before I can actually comfortably wear them. But I am very pleased with my hats. I have a large collection, and I will try not to add more hats in the near future. Although if I see some and I like them and I don't want them to go to waste, I might just buy them. That's a problem I've got.